Interest rates have gone through the roof over the last 18 months or so. So why hasn't home prices decreased? Isn't that supposed to happen? My name is Jesse with the Loader Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Please make sure to go hit like, share, and subscribe, and go check out some of my other videos that I have done recently. One of my most recent series was a two-parter on the most valuable neighborhoods in the city of Leduc. Please make sure to go check them out. Today we're going to discuss a topic that is on everybody's mind. It's in the media. Everybody kind of talks about it, is interest rates. So we all know that basically from the beginning part, the first quarter of 2022 to now, where we are in the third quarter of 2023, interest rates have gone through the roof. I think the Bank of Canada has raised rates 10 times, if I'm not mistaken, but I've kind of lost count, so who knows. Everybody keeps saying, oh, they're going to come down, they're going to come down, they're going to come down. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but today I want to talk about, how the rising interest rates relates to home prices. So historically and typically, and sort of the common, misconception out there is that when interest rates climb, house prices go down. And that has been fairly accurate over time, although there are some exceptions to that. And right now we are in one of those exceptions. So why is that? Why, since the interest rates have increased 10 times over the last 18 months to 20 months, why are home prices still increasing in the Alberta market, and more specifically the Edmonton area real estate market? Well, here's kind of my theory on it. I'm not an economist. I am a real estate agent, so I do have some experience in this, but here's what I see from my own perspective, okay? Is that if we go back the last 5 to 7 years or so, interest rates have been historically low, and if not historically low, very, very low. We're talking sub 3% for the bulk majority of the last 6 or 7 years for a 5-year fixed rate. I mean, there's been some fluctuations here and there, but for the most part, you could get a screaming deal on a fixed mortgage rate. So if we go back a few years, all right, let's go back to pre-pandemic 2019, you're buying a house, you're moving, first-time buyer, you're selling, you're buying, whatever it is that you're doing, you're gonna go and get a mortgage rate, and you're gonna get an interest rate of 2.5%. Well, most people, the vast majority of people, locked into usually a 5-year fixed interest rate at X percentage. People who bought in 2020, right before the pandemic and right after the pandemic and during the pandemic, same kind of story. Really low interest rates, even though the real estate market was shut out of a cannon during that time. Interest rates were really, really low, so most people didn't care about what was going on with the price. They're locking in for usually 5 years at a pretty low fixed rate. Same thing in 2021, and really same thing, and especially the early part of 2022. Those people, got extremely lucky. They've locked in now to 5-year fixed term at probably, low 2s, sometimes even under 2%. So all of those folks over the last 3 years or so, they've bought these homes, they're locked into a fixed rate mortgage. They don't care what's going on with the interest rates. It does not affect them. They hear it in the headlines and they see about it. Maybe they have some friends or family that are riding out the wave of the variable rates, and they're going, oh geez, I'm sure glad I'm not doing that. So with all these increases in interest rates, they don't care. Their monthly mortgage payment's staying the same, and they're just humming along just fine. Okay, so we all know that it increased for quite some time. We all know that a lot of people, most people who've received mortgages over the last few years have locked into fixed rates, so they don't care. So in my opinion, that's really why we haven't seen this massive flood of listings hit the market, because interest rates are so high, because people's payments haven't really changed. If you're paying $2,000 a month for a $400-ish thousand home 2 years ago, you're still paying $2,000 a month right now, despite fixed rates today at 5.5% to 6.5%. So who cares, right? Now, what will happen when all those people come up for renewal? That is actually the right question to be asked right now. It's not really what the interest rates are doing today, but what are the interest rates going to be at when all these people over the last 1 to 3 years got 5-year fixed rates? What's going to happen the next 1 to 3 years when they all come up for renewal? So right now, it's kind of a race, right? It's a race between, are the interest rates going to come down to a normal level before all these people come up for renewal? Or are they still going to be astronomically high when all these people come up for renewal? that will really dictate where we go as a real estate market here in the greater Edmonton area. Because if all these people come up for renewal and they have a 2.5% interest rate right now, and it comes up for renewal and they got to pay 6% interest, a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford those new payments. What are they going to do? They're going to sell their house, right? They're going to list their house. We're going to get this huge flood of inventory hit the market. Inventory levels are going to go up, and that is really what determines where home values are at. Supply and demand is kind of number one. So when we have this huge supply and the demand is low, we're going to start seeing those home prices come down. Where right now, despite the rising interest rates, our inventory level is very, very low. The demand is still quite high. So home prices have gone up. They certainly went crazy in the spring of 2022. We kind of leveled off in the last quarter, last half of the year in 2022 and 2023. They've been kind of slowly, steadily increasing month over month ever since then. And if you're paying attention to what's going down south, a couple hours down the highway in Calgary, it is going gangbusters there. We are seeing insane prices. We are seeing insane multiple offers, insanely over asking price, all of that kind of stuff that you hear. And while the Edmonton real estate market doesn't always exactly mirror what's happening in Calgary, a lot of people say, oh, whatever happens in Calgary is going to happen in Edmonton. That is true to some degree, but I don't think as much as people think. However, it is something to pay attention to. I do feel like the greater Edmonton area is going to start increasing, and I think we're going to see a really huge bump in the early part of 2024. Again, this is all before kind of all those people come up for renewal, right? So I don't want to ramble on too much about that, but in short, the reason why home prices have not decreased despite the rising interest rates, nobody's on a variable rate, so they don't care. I hope you found this valuable. I try and put out weekly videos where I give you some really good insight into what's happening with the local real estate market. I do have a heavy focus on the city of Leduc, as that is near and dear to me, but we can help you out in the entire greater Edmonton area. If you have questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, you want to know what's going on with your personal real estate situation, please make sure to reach out to us anytime. Once again, my name is Jesse with the Leduc Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, and thanks for watching.